John Cena sucks. Hey everybody, episode 12 coming at you. The guy with the AJ Styles hair and the guy with the Jim Neidhart beard are here. Episode 12.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So, getting back into the swing of things. Gonna start get back to doing the weekly Raw and SmackDown recaps and just talking just a tiny little bit about upcoming Hell in a Cell, and then obviously next week we'll talk all about that as well as the next week Raw and SmackDown recaps. But
right on.
Yeah. So all right, let's go ahead. Unless you have any news or anything that you heard about.
Not crazy news. TNA saga keeps going on and on and on. Not sure where that's going to end. It sounds like a lot of talent from TNA is getting ready. They're getting ready to reach out to WWE and other promotions to see if they can find a place in those promotions, because it doesn't look good for TNA right now. So it's pretty crazy there. As far as that goes, I don't think there's a whole lot. There's a thing that happened on Raw that there's some news about, but I think we'll go ahead and start off by talking about Raw, even though we really don't want to, because man, what a stinker.
Yeah, that stinks because, well, I feel like last week on Raw was pretty decent. I feel like it was. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It was a stinker. This week was quite a dud. It just seemed like it was kind of filler,
Oh yeah.
Because first, no Roman Reigns, no Rusev in the building,
which was a big mistake. Big mistake.
It was. They just had the little video promos.
Yeah.
They needed something to. That just wasn't good enough. They needed something else. One last confrontation to really amp up the heat between the two.
Agreed.
And do something really radical. Do something crazy, to rise the animosity even higher.
Yeah.
To make the Hell in a Cell match seem more epic and make it seem a lot more heated and stuff like that. So that was a big mistake, big misstep by them. Not doing that.
I know.
Seth Rollins. I'm gonna say this. He just seems so out of place as a babyface because he was a heel for so long. And he's good. He's so good at it. That I'm just like, I don't care because he's such a good heel and he was a heel for so long, and it's like I don't really.
But do you think he's a true babyface?
He's not. It seems like they're kind of. He's the lesser of two evils. He's the babyface in this, but he hasn't turned, I should say.
Yeah. In this storyline, I agree with you. He's the babyface in this storyline.
Yeah, and the whole sparkle crotch thing and this stealing the list of Jericho, which I actually thought that was kind of funny. Stealing the list of Jericho, that was kind of funny.
I agree.
But yeah, this whole sparkle crotch and this whole constantly getting into, I don't know, for some reason it just isn't doing it for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. I think for me it is Seth Rollins has been scorned by Stephanie and Triple H. Someone who people who have helped him, quote unquote, helped him in his path right now, and so he's I think he's more playing the scorned friend, if you will, of Triple H and Stephanie. I think Kevin Owens is just kind of in the way of what he really wants.
Okay.
And so for me, I don't see Seth as a true heel or a true face. I see him as ticked off. He's angry at what happened to his circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
He's acting very, very selfishly, self-centeredly, which is a heel thing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care about anything else. All he cares about, he doesn't really care about Kevin Owens. I mean, in this whole feud, it's not really been a feud until Kevin powerbombs him into the mat at the end of this match, at the end of the show. There's no physicality between them. He wants what he thinks he's owed, and he knows he's been quote unquote screwed out of the championship by his old mentor. And Triple H hasn't been around. I think what they're doing is they're setting up a Triple H Seth Rollins feud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Triple H will be on camera very much, especially since Vince is kind of hurt right now. I think that's what they're doing is somehow Triple H will come out in the Hell in the Cell. Either he'll come out or he'll send somebody out to help Seth lose on this, to set that up for whether it was WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good points. Very, very, very.
So yeah, the opener, I thought was really funny. I agree with you. The whole List of Jericho thing. I did watch a commentary on this whole thing, and they think it was done to death during this episode. What do you think about that? Do you think this whole List of Jericho thing has been done to death, or do you think it?
Personally, I don't, just because I enjoy it, because this is the best, as we keep saying, this is the best iteration of Chris Jericho. This is his best run he's had in his whole time in WWE. Like, I think it's fantastic. Like, all the backstage stuff, looking around for it, and like he's talking to Titus O'Neil and the Shining Stars, and like that whole bit where he's just like, "Nice scarf, by the way." "Oh yeah, it's Titus brand." "It's a stupid brand," or whatever he says, and then he goes up to Jinder Mahal and he's like doing the breathing. He's like, "Stupid idiot, stupid idiot," and stuff, and then he finally finds the list, and Braun Strowman has it. "You didn't say please. Like, can I have the list, please?" He's like, "Sami Zayn, isn't on this list." And he goes, "He's on page 4. And guess what? For holding my personal property, Braun Strowman, you just made the list." Like, I don't care, like, about that. Like, I can see how some people could get tired of it. But personally, I'm not getting tired of it just because I think it's great. Like, I find it very funny. And so, yeah. Like I was just saying a minute ago before we started recording, Chris Jericho was like the saving grace of this episode of Raw. He was probably the only good thing about it.
I would agree.
I'm along with KO, because KO's got some good, always has some good stuff to do or say. But yeah, it was, he kind of made this not like a straight up abomination. he was able to make this just, frustrating and not make it fully terrible.
This whole episode of Raw seemed like it seemed lazy, and as if they didn't know what to do. And I don't understand it. I mean, the guy I listened to, he basically said he thought that they took this idea, they ran with it, and they just kind of ran it into the ground. I don't think so either. But what they did was they took this idea and made it the center point of the whole show, which is fine. It's funny. I get it. But you have a pay-per-view this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't really set up anything for the pay-per-view. Not only that, is you have made the U.S. title kind of an afterthought, and like you had already said about the interviews, the with Roman and Rusev, it was like, okay, you guys should have been on the show. It would have helped the show.
Yeah.
It would have helped your title match at a Hell in a Cell, and then you kind of you put the list above the Universal title as more important. Universal title has been kind of an afterthought, at least in the last couple of weeks. It's just been Seth Rollins like, "Oh, you screwed me over. I'm so angry," and then Kevin Owens with the Kevin Owens friendship is more important than the Universal title, which I don't understand why they're doing that. They're like, "Oh, Universal title, okay, whatever." It's fun. I don't. They're doing storyline over titles right now when they have a pay-per-view, and so I don't understand it.
It almost seems like this episode of Raw should have been switched with last week's.
Yep, I agree with you 100%.
Because like the way everything was resolved and happened last week, that seems like a what do you call it? A good fade in to the pay-per-view, because you had Rusev coming out and attacking Roman Reigns, and kind of furthering the animosity, which I was just saying, they needed that this week to lead into the pay-per-view. So it's not just like, oh yeah, they're like, I don't know if they had vacation, or if they were like, oh, we don't have time, or if they were, at the Performance Center mapping out their match or something. I don't know what they were doing, but it just seems kind of weird that it seems like these two, like sometimes, on TV, if something happens, or, the studio has something, or if there's a sporting event, they'll have to change up a schedule for a TV show. And so sometimes an episode won't air, or, they'll have to air another one before this one's supposed to happen. So you're like, what the heck's going on? This almost seems like that. Like, it seems like this should have happened last week, and then last week's episode should happen this week.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's exactly what I thought. So moving from that storyline, the storyline of the whole Universal title and Seth Rollins and Stephanie and all that stuff. We get to basically our first match of the night. Feels like our only match of the night. No, I'm just kidding. But first match of the night, it's Enzo versus Carl Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this whole thing that happened?
I don't know. This rivalry is it seems kind of hastily thrown together. It just seems like it was just kind of done to give both of these tag teams something to do.
I agree.
And I don't hate it. I really don't, because I mean, all four guys are great in the ring and stuff like that, and good characters and stuff like that. But yeah, it just kind of seems kind of hastily thrown together. Just like, oh crap, we need something for Enzo and Cass to do. We need something for the club to do. Oh, I got an idea. Just throw them together. Like, what can they feud about? I don't know.
Exactly. Whatever. I don't know if they're setting up for if these two teams are going to be on their Survivor Series tag team, and so they're like, let's get some animosity between them first, and then see. It'll go into Survivor Series and see what they do between.
Good point. I didn't think of that.
Because we need to start. That's what SmackDown did well, is they got us prepared, or they're preparing us for Survivor Series, and so I don't know if this is kind of that same the same vein. Yes, they're going to wrestle. They're going to have a match at Hell in a Cell. But you're right. I felt the same way. It's just like, okay, these guys are feuding. When did this happen?
Yeah.
Just kind of out of nowhere.
And they have a match at Hell in a Cell.
They do.
These two tag teams. So, like, yeah, that was kind of just thrown upon.
Yep.
Really quick also. So.
And that's the reason why I felt like it was.
But yeah,
together.
I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't hate it, but
right.
yeah, it seems so out of left field, like just like lightning out of a clear sky. You're like, wait, what? So they're feuding, I guess, like.
Yeah, and I think the part of that is because Gallows and Anderson are kind of hyping themselves as, oh, we're really really tough, we're in the retirement business, but yet they haven't really won a match, and so I don't understand this tension of, yes, everybody likes Enzo and Cass. Everybody's going to pop for them. But then Gallows and Anderson comes out, and it's like, okay, we're big and bad, but don't win. What does that do for Gallows and Anderson? Nothing. And so I don't know if Vince just hates this group or what, but it's not doing them any justice.
Yeah, it's really weird. Very, very strange thing. Like, I wonder how it's going to plan out. And I didn't even think about them, about the Survivor Series, because we have, what is that, a 20-man? Match, because it's 5 tag teams on 5 tag teams, so that'll be like a 20. That'll be crazy to see.
There's a lot of people around it.
That'll be ridiculous. That'll be ridiculous for sure. But although I did like the bit of their microphones being shut off, so Enzo used the microphone tattoo on the top of his hand, and it worked because the crowd said it all along with him, so you could all hear it and stuff. I thought that was really clever. I did like that though.
I agree.
I really liked that.
Very genius on Enzo's part. You do your catchphrases, and you don't need a mic because, like you said, the crowd's gonna say it for you. And it was a cool experience. It would have been cool to be there to experience that. It's a cool concept.
It was
right,
really cool.
We go from that, and I'm just taking this off of Hulu. I didn't see some of the other matches, and so we've already talked about the Rusev Roman Reigns thing, how we feel about it. The next match that I have is the New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Do you have any thoughts about this match?
Just a solid match. Nothing really. I'm actually really kind of liking Sheamus and Cesaro as a tag team more than I thought I would. It was kind of funny that the guys on What Culture were saying. I think it was Simon who said, I think that they're the tie. I think it was the ups and downs from whatever that pay-per-view. That was at Clash of Champions. That's what that was. Where it was a tie. Their final match, the 7th match, was a tie. And he goes, I think they're going to make them be a tag team, and they're going to go after tag team titles. I was like, that'd be a neat idea, but they're not going to. But they did that. And I was like, interesting. I'll see how this plans out. I was a little weary.
Sure.
But I was like, I'll see how this plans out. But yeah, I'm actually really, I think it was a good call, honestly. I really do.
I agree. I like the Sheamus-Cesaro dynamic. You're right. Solid match. Good match. They did their jobs well. It's a saving grace from this episode.
And I think if you really want to shake up the Raw tag team division and change something, have them beat New Day and have
I agree.
them be the tech, and then if you want to renew their feud and have them like fight over, and then they end up losing the tag team titles because of it, and then they have a big match or something like, I could see them doing that. So.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I like the Sheamus Cesaro dynamic. I really enjoyed when Kofi and Cesaro were in the ring together. They worked really well together, and so eventually down the line, I would like to see that match again, to see what they could do full speed. But
Cool.
Yeah. The other thing they also recapped the whole Goldberg thing, which I think was the best thing of the night, because Goldberg stole the show last week.
Mm-hmm.
Did a really, really good job, and so they reminded us of that. And go into the whole Jericho scene, which you already talked about when he saw the Shining Stars and such. And the Roman Reigns, and then we get Jericho looking for his list again, comes across Braun Strowman. That was funny.
I like that.
I'm
wondering if that'll lead into anything.
Yeah, I hope so, because that'd be fun.
It would be. And then maybe Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho actually have to team up to face Braun Strowman. I think that could lead to something. And then he ends up becoming best friends with Sami Zayn, and then he turns face.
Could be.
That would be fun.
There could be a face turn again. I mean,
that'd be fun. See. That would be a lot of fun.
And so the next thing we got is the women's Hell in a Cell match signing.
Mm-hmm.
What were your impressions of this?
I loved this segment. I completely forgot about it until you just brought it up. I think just because what happened to close the show, or not to close the show, but the Brock Lesnar thing, I think that just was so odd, and this whole episode was odd and terrible that I forgot about that. But yeah, I thought that was a great segment. I thought Foley, give that man an Oscar for his performance in there, man. That was crazy. That was like Brando stuff. He did a great job of that. He seemed like he was really speaking from the heart. It didn't seem like he was just like, oh yeah, I'll just act, upset and, stuff like that, and I'll be warning them about, it actually seemed real to me, for a second. It seemed like he was actually getting worked up and was actually, scared for them.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really, really good. I thought Charlotte and Sasha did really well on the mic and stuff like that. Their going back and forth was pretty decent. But yeah, Foley, he just really, gave it something extra. He made this seem epic because yeah, this is history. This is the first women's Hell in a Cell match, and they keep booking it as it's a triple main event. I think it's because. I think because they're not sure yet which one they want to go on last of these three.
I didn't think about that.
Because they're saying it's a triple main event, so I'm guessing that it'll just be these three matches to close the show. So they don't have to raise and lower the cell several times. That way these three matches just close the show. But yeah, I'm interested to find out which one will be final. I think, honestly, you do this women's match. I think you do this one last. If you want to make history, make it the first women's Hell in a Cell match. You give it even more bang. You have it be the main event. Have it be the very, very last one. But yeah, I dug Charlotte's and Sasha's line to end it, where she signed it and she's like, I'll see you in Boston, Sasha. And then she's like, you'll see me in Boston. I'll see you in hell. And I was like, oh, I like that. That was cool. That was like a Clint Eastwood line or something.
Predictable but good.
It was, yeah.
I agree. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, I really like it. I really liked it a lot.
My thoughts, first of all, as far as the Hell in the Cell match, this is the match I'm looking forward to the most out of the Hell in the Cells. I really didn't like the promos.
Really?
I couldn't. I'm nitpicking for a little bit. First of all, Charlotte's dress was annoying to me. It was very unflattering to her. She looked pregnant. I hate to say that. She looked pregnant. And I kept looking. I'm like, is this my computer? Is this what's going on? No, nothing against you, Charlotte. It was just a bad choice of a dress for you to wear. I also felt like I like Sasha and I like Charlotte and I like what they're doing. I'm getting annoyed with Sasha on the mic a little bit. She says the same things over and over again, and she uses the same inflections over and over again. And to be honest, it's not her fault. It's WWE's fault for not hyping the other female wrestlers who are very, very capable on Raw to wrestle. I hope that this Hell in a Cell, and I did hear it said that Hell in a Cell is kind of that capping off of feuds type thing. That's what they've used it for in the past. And so I hope that this is a capping off of this feud so they can wrestle other women. They're great talent in the WWE, the Raw version of the women's bracket. So I hope this caps off that.
Me too.
I don't mind Charlotte on the mic as much. She does have her inflections that annoy me, but she does a really pretty decent job. And you're right, Mick Foley was like super emotional about the Hell in a Cell match, rightfully so. But I did, again, another person I listened to said that, weeks ago he was like, oh yeah, this is awesome, Hell in a Cell match. And now that he's coming out and saying, you guys should rethink this are you really sure you want to do the Hell in a Cell match? But it was fine.
For me, it makes sense for his character because
I agree.
The first one where he's like, yeah, this will be history, like that's him being a businessman, and then he comes to his senses, and this is the father in him kind of coming out. So
yeah, I agree with you. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with the comments. It made sense.
Yeah, he
was super emotional. I think he could have dialed it down just a little bit and still got the point across.
It's wrestling. It's fun to go over the top. So
so yeah, it was overall one of the more shining parts of Raw. So then we have a Kevin Owens interview in the back, and then we have Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn, which really wasn't a match.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I'm actually kind of getting excited by this. Like when he's last week when he's like, Foley, I need real competition, and then Sami Zayn came out, and I was like, awesome, I totally dig that, because like the only other person who would come out that would make sense would be someone like Roman Reigns or Rusev, who wants to prove that they're the that they're big and bad, stuff like that, but they're feuding with each other, so they really couldn't. But in Sami Zayn, it's like, he's the underdog from the underground. He's the little guy, so he's like, hey, I'm going to stick up for the other little guys, I'm going to come out here and show this guy that he ain't nothing, and, I'm going to show him that you can't be a bully, like, this is like, this is the nerd, sticking up for the other nerds against the big bad bully on the playground, kind of thing. And yeah, I really liked that from last week, and then this week, it was a little, it was a little odd to have him just push him down and then walk out and stuff. I did like him, Sammy, kind of like sucker punching him and stuff like that. And then when he kicked him off the apron, and stuff like that. And so yeah, I'm really interested to see how it plays out. It's got me very much intrigued.
I agree. I think I can't say any more than what you did, because you're right. It's an interesting pairing. Never would have thought Sami Zayn. I know that they needed to do more with Zayn, and I think this might be one of the better things to do. If they weren't going to make him a tag team with Neville, this would be a good place for him. So I totally agree. Then we come to the night with what was supposed to be one of the better moments of the night. People were building it up to be awesome. We have Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come to the ring, and my first thoughts were like, yeah, it would be awesome. I can't wait to hear what Brock and Heyman have to say. What were your thoughts?
I'll let you go first this time.
Okay, I was gonna say, we could have dead air, because right now, I just watched it last night, and I had heard about it all day, and I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. Like, there's no way it could be that bad. And so I don't know if their plan was to go out to the crowd and let the crowd work this whole deal. That's what it seemed like, because it seemed like Paul was waiting for them to say, chant Goldberg. And I think in any other town outside of Minnesota, that would happen. Mm-hmm. So basically, what I believe is Minnesota is the heel state. There were several moments during Raw and a couple moments during SmackDown that they were all on the side of heels. So Minnesota, if you're listening, the face that runs this place is coming for you. No, I'm just kidding. It was
Yeah, that's
weird.
right. Illinois, sucker.
That's
Coming
right.
for you.
The Paul Heyman stuttering was annoying to me. I know that was probably on purpose, but
Yeah.
it annoyed the snot out of me.
Yeah. I thought it was going to lead to him. He was so frustrated and flustered that Brock was just going to end up taking the mic.
Yeah.
And then say something really short, concise, but, typical Brock Lesnar, big tough guy,
Get paid thousands of dollars.
$1,000 to say 10 words. Yeah, I thought it was going to be something like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that didn't happen.
No, it didn't. I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, Brock's going to take it. But Brock probably hadn't prepared for anything, just to stand there. Paul Heyman, who is the best on the mic in the business right now. What happened? Like, I don't understand. And apparently there was some he tweeted, he's like, good thing, because apparently ESPN did a thing about how Paul Heyman's the best on the mic, and he tweeted, good thing ESPN didn't watch this because they would have pulled the article off their site. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like you have to have a plan B.
Mm-hmm.
I think, especially in professional wrestling, man, I can't talk today. Professional wrestling, you have to have a plan B. You can't just go out there and expect, especially in Brock's home state, where he's been billed from, and expect people to do what you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was awful. And from what I understand, one of the other big stories that are kind of breaking is that Vince was the one who pulled the trigger on his music because he was so frustrated and so angry and flustered with what was going on that he pulled it. And it's like, Vince, that was your fault.
Mm-hmm.
You allowed him to go out to his home place, and you expected him to be booed. That's idiotic.
Yeah.
That's moronic. And so, Vince, I think it's time for you to step aside. How many times can we say that?
Yeah, we should keep saying it till it happens.
Yeah, let's say it until it happens. So what were your overall thoughts? I don't know if there's any more that you had.
It's just like, I'll just say my piece. I won't go on too much longer because you said a lot of what I was thinking. It was terrible. Like, this was gonna be a rally the troops moment. Get Brock Lesnar's hometown behind him,
Should've been.
I mean, yeah, obviously he was like, oh, apparently we got a Smarty Pants Goldberg fan here, and and
he tried.
He tried.
One fan.
It's just like, it's like, Paul, you are great at addressing the crowd, but read the room. Like, it was just one guy, maybe 10 people in that arena of over 20,000. Like, you should have just let it go and soldiered on, because although you are good at addressing the crowd spontaneously, like when he's like, Brock Lesnar ended the streak earlier this year, and everybody's like, boo, and he goes, that was 2 years ago, get over it. Like, that was good, but in this instance, he should have just kept going on with what he did, and he shouldn't have let the crowd get to him. He shouldn't have let the crowd, like, I don't know if, wrestling has been doing a lot of worked shoots lately, so I don't know if this is one. It doesn't seem like it is, because of what we've been hearing about Vince mad about the crowd reaction and pulling the plug on the segment and all that. But this just seemed dead on arrival. Like, it just seemed like you guys should have just stuck with addressing Goldberg, and like, yeah, it's not like you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Goldberg is from.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get heat from the crowd. Like, no, you're in Brock Lesnar's yard, man. Like, and it just was terrible. It was awful. Like, I was just, at the end, I was like, they didn't like hype up the match at all. Like, he talked about Goldberg a little bit, and then he started taking on the audience, and then it just went downhill from there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just, yeah, like, this should have been, like I said, a rallying the troops moment. This should have been getting his hometown, crowd behind him and stuff like that. Yeah, Brock Lesnar's a monster heel, but this is his hometown. He's not getting booed.
Nope.
Yeah, if you guys go to North Carolina, AJ Styles isn't getting booed. You go to Boston, John Cena, he's not getting booed.
Nope.
Go to Florida, Roman Reigns won't get booed as much. Because he doesn't deserve the boos. Watch Simon Miller's video on What Culture.
Yeah, great video. He's absolutely right.
You go to Iowa, Seth Rollins probably isn't getting booed. Go to St. Louis, Randy Orton, not getting booed.
Not at all.
I don't know why I said that like Joey from Friends, but doesn't matter. Yeah, it just was terrible. There's nothing else we can say about it. It just was. They had the wrong direction for it completely. It was terrible.
Yeah, they should have went in there, like you said, rallying the troops. But they didn't, and this is what you get. And Vince stepped away from the job.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we'll go on to the last match of the night. Rollins versus Jericho versus Owens. It's supposed to be a triple threat match. But we know that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about the whole thing?
It was a serviceable match. Like, those three guys are all really, really good. I don't think any three of them have had a really, really bad match. Like, they always do their job. And, clock in, clock out. And this one, no exception. Just three really good wrestlers doing really good wrestling. I did like to start out how they were sort of playing musical chairs, hopping in and out of the ring. That was kind of funny. Like, they're just like Owens and Jericho are just like huddling up and like coming up with a plan, and they're just like and stuff and pointing and like that was funny. Like,
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really all.
I can't say anymore either. It was a serviceable match. The end. Finally, we see some fire in Kevin Owens about his match this Sunday. The problem with this match is it didn't really get me hyped for the match in Hell in a Cell. The Universal title, again, I've already said it, is kind of being laid aside for funny gimmick. You don't do that. Like you said, this needed to be switched with last week's episode. I don't know what happened. I don't know. It was a bad night. I hope I get to find the Rich Swann Kendrick match, because I heard that was a really good match. Do you remember anything about it, or can you say anything about the match? Because I don't remember. I didn't watch it.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, just because the cruiserweight thing has kind of been really vanilla, I guess you could say. It's just been really kind of but yeah, this match was really good. Like, I was actually just like, oh, in several spots. Like, it was just really, really good, man. It was really good.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. Rich Swann is one of the better cruiserweights in this competition. Him and Cedric Alexander. And I did find a roster. There are some people who are rostered for the cruiserweight that we haven't seen yet.
Okay.
I don't know whose idea it was to start with T.J. Perkins, and we already said it. We don't like him as champion. Rich Swann is a way better wrestler. Cedric Alexander, a way better wrestler, and all these other guys who's supposed to be coming up. Hopefully the cruiserweight hasn't fizzled too much that they don't come up, because you've got some great talent hopefully coming up. If not on Raw, on NXT, hopefully they keep these guys around, because they're amazing.
Yeah, and also, I don't care what anybody says. I like the Cruiserweight Championship belt.
I do too.
I like it a lot. Like, it's different. Like, you can't have them all just like, all the belts, just be kind of carbon copies of one another, or just have them, they all have to have gold plates and they all have to have a black strap. It's like, no, you can do stuff different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though the Universal title is such a lazy design, because they just changed the color scheme from the World Championship.
Yep. It's
growing on me. I still think that they should have done a much better job. They should have done something different. Yeah. And but yeah, I like the belt. I think it's a cool, different design, because it has like a hexagon front plate, and the side plates are kind of different and stuff like that. I just think it's really neat.
I agree. I hope they give it time. Like I said, like we've said before, we don't like TJ as the champion. Get it off of him as soon as possible and move on to better, talented wrestlers who can do great jobs. And we've already mentioned several of those. So overall, Raw. What out of, I don't know, we need a rating system.
Okay. Okay, I got a good one.
Okay.
Shout out to one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. How about we do, on a scale of stars, instead of stars, we'll do a Stone Cold Smoking Skull beers.
Okay.
We can. That'll be our new thing.
So is it out of 5? Are we doing out of 5?
Yeah, we'll do out of 5. Okay.
So out of 5, what would you think?
Well, I think this would probably be a 2. So yeah, I am giving this 2 Smoking Skull IPAs. Out of 5.
I'll give it 2 as well, even though I want to give it a 1.5. I just didn't get to see some of the good stuff because Hulu, darn you. I'm not showing it all. I don't know the reason why. So yeah, I give it a 2 as well.
Okay. Well, right. Cool. We have a ranking system.
Yeah, ranking system. At least for now. Maybe we'll change it every week. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll run out of stuff, I think.
Yeah. 2 Cobras. I don't know what I'm saying. So now we come to the SmackDown portion of our show, where we talk about SmackDown. First thing of the night was Dean Ambrose and James Ellsworth. Dean was getting himself psyched up, and then James comes in and is like, "Hey, thank you for helping me out. I really appreciate it. But can I come in? Can I come to the ring with you? What did you think of this whole story?"
I liked it. I like what they're doing with James Ellsworth. I hope he's not like, just like with the Heath Slater, constantly getting screwed out of a contract thing. I hope this doesn't go on too long.
Sure.
But yeah, I like what they've been doing with it so far. I loved what they did the past 2 weeks with having him beat AJ Styles and all that stuff. Yeah, I liked it. Dean Ambrose is great, as always. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty funny segment. And
I thought it was really good too. It reminds me of a couple things. First of all, it reminds me of the 1-2-3 Kid and Razor Ramon back in the day, when in '95 I think it was, they were doing some things together, and Razor was kind of reluctant to help out with 1-2-3 Kid, and so it reminds me a lot of that. It also reminds me of the cartoon of the little dog and the big dog. You remember that cartoon where the dog's all like, hey Spike, what do you do? Hey,
from
Spike,
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. And so it reminds me of that, which I didn't hate the cartoon, and I don't hate this. I really enjoy this whole concept. I'm looking forward to see what happens after what has happened at the end of SmackDown.
Yeah.
James was on Talking Smack. There was a little thing on YouTube about it. Basically, he's just like, I hope he doesn't hate me. I'm really sorry. I'm probably not going to be even invited back to SmackDown. I'm really sorry. And so he's doing that whole thing. I don't know that it's going to be a heel turn for James. I think it's going to be more of that in the wrong place at the wrong time. And even Dean in character and in the at the end of the match, he's like, it wasn't his fault. So hopefully, I want to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get to that.
And so one of the guys I was listening to thought this was the same kind of concept as the list. I'm not there yet. I like the list, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I'm not as annoyed with this as that guy was. I think it's a good concept. It's fun. Let's keep seeing where it goes.
It's different because it's. Yeah. You could say, it's because it's not like the Mickie James Trish Stratus thing where she's like a super fan who like turned into a stalker and then turned heel and became her enemy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're doing that or anything because this is just him being like, oh hey, you helped me out, so I just want to help you out kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like marking out and being like a stalker crazy fan or anything like that. So like it's I don't think it's like that at all. Like so I was just like yeah, this is really different. Like to my knowledge and to my memory, like I don't remember anything. I don't really remember anything like that happening for quite a while. So
yeah, it's a good take on something that they've done in different places before, which is fine. I like James. I think he's got great personality. I like Dean. I think it's funny that he's doing this. So kind of a cool thing. The first match of the night we have, I really enjoyed the Bray Wyatt and Kane no DQ match. What did you think about this match?
I was actually totally surprised by it too. I mean, not that these guys don't put on good matches, it's just that it's a match on TV, and those are usually just okay and stuff like that.
Yep.
Although the match to close out the show, I can't wait to get to that but yeah, I was like pleasantly surprised. I was like, it'll just be a standard TV match or anything. But yeah, it was actually really, really good.
Yeah, a lot of people complain because it's like Bray and Kane have done this thousands of times, and that's fine. But to see Kane, who is an aging veteran, he was not in bad shape. He looked good. He looked really good in his wrestling. I really enjoyed it. I'd like to see what happens, because what happens after or during the match? It's a no DQ match. So Luke Harper comes out, helps Bray, and then what happens?
And then Randy Orton came out.
And we were like, oh, they're getting ready to, Randy Orton's gonna RKO who we think he's gonna RKO, but who does he RKO?
He RKO's Kane.
The dude for the last 2 weeks plus has helped him. And what does Randy Orton say afterwards?
Can't beat him, join him.
What does that mean, Randy? Randy, what does that mean?
I think I have a pretty good idea of what's going on here.
What do you think's going on?
Well, a lot of people seem to think this is a heel turn for Randy Orton. I don't think so. I think this is a scheme of him and Kane to beat the Wyatt family, to break the Wyatt family apart from the inside. He, at first I was just like, oh, he RKO'd Kane to show Bray Wyatt how crazy he is, to show that he will go farther, to do whatever it takes to beat him, and he's just that crazy and unhinged that, I just RKO'd the guy who was helping me, your move, kind of thing. But then then he said, can't beat him, join him, and stuff like that, and I was just like, oh, he's turning hit. Wait, no, he's not. He did this to Seth Rollins last year. He pretended to join the Authority, and then he turned on Seth Rollins and just beat Seth Rollins within an inch of his life and RKO'd him on the announce table. So I was just like, yeah, I mean, in the video games, Randy Orton's dominant trait is treacherous. So I'm just saying, he's done stuff like this before where he allies himself with somebody, and then, he turns back into the Viper and just takes him out of the. So I think this isn't a heel turn. This is a undercover mission. I think that's what this is. I think this is him taking out the Wyatt family from inside, and then he's gonna take out Bray Wyatt that way. So that's what I think's going on here with that.
I agree with you, but it would be interesting to see how long they play that out. If they're gonna go, like, if they give it a couple weeks and Randy's there with Bray during different things, it'd be awesome if they developed a mask, like a Viper mask for him to wear for a little while, and then eventually because I don't believe it one bit. I agree with you. I think he's getting ready. This is some ploy to get in the mind of Bray Wyatt. That makes more sense. Than him joining.
It does. It really, really does.
And so, move on from that. They interview or they go into a vignette about AJ Styles, and that was pretty funny. And then we get Becky Lynch's interview, but it doesn't turn out to be an interview, because what happens?
Because Alexa Bliss came out.
So it's always good to see Alexa Bliss on screen.
It's always good to see both of them on screen.
That's true.
I was just like, I wish I could be in that ring right now. They're both very pretty.
They are.
That's what I'm driving
very,
at.
Very pretty young ladies.
But I also, I meant to say this last week, but I'm really digging the whole Harley Quinn look for Alexa Bliss. I think it really fits her. It fits her look and it fits her character. And she she looks a lot like Harley Quinn. And I was just like, dang, like that's a great look for her. Like, she really pulls that off and stuff. And then it was last week on SmackDown, she had the Freddy Krueger gimmick because it's Halloween season, stuff like that. I liked that a lot. That was really cool. This Freddy Krueger outfit and stuff like that. And she had the sweater that was all slashed up and stuff like that. Like, I thought that was a really cool, really cool attire.
Yeah, she has really good ring attire, as you said. Ring get up. She also has an Iron Man get up that
I still need to see that.
Or NXT and some other stuff. I really like her. I like the way she wrestles. I like her look, the gimmicks that she comes out with. I listened to an interview one time. She was asked why she has this hand thing.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, I like video. I think she said something like, I like video games and I like the fact that power is in your hand, and so it's one of those things that she enjoys. She's like, I enjoy punching people. And I like that idea. So that was really funny.
Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was she's really kind of because I wasn't familiar with her just because my NXT exposure is severely limited. And so when she was at the brand split that she
Mhm.
showed up, and I was just like, huh, Alexa Bliss, and I was like, and then you were telling me like, oh yeah, she's really good and stuff. I was like, huh, and yeah, she just really, really has impressed me and has really grown on me a lot, and so I'm really digging this feud. I think, to me, this feud is, and these two competitors, is way better than Sasha and Charlotte, because that seems like that needs to end. Like, it needs to end.
Agreed.
This one, like I'm way more intrigued by this one. I like this one a lot more. I like these two women a lot more. Nothing against Sasha and Charlotte,
Sure.
but it's just I just think these two women are just that much better. And
Agreed.
Yeah, man, I'm just speechless because I'm just been so impressed with both of them. And the crowd loves Becky, and they boo Alexa because she's the villain here. And but yeah, I just really been gosh, a frog in my throat. Sorry. Yeah, I've just really been impressed with the heat that this feud has been able to generate, because they don't really have a big long history or anything, do they?
Not that I know of. Like I said, coming back, I only have a limited amount of NXT knowledge. I don't know if they were in NXT together, if that was a thing. But you're right. It's fresh. It's different. It is better because it is fresh and different. It's better than the other feuds going on in Raw. Absolutely, Alexa, when she was in NXT, she was a wrestler and a kind of a not ring girl,
like a valet or
ballet.
manager.
Yeah, she was a manager of ballet for this other group, and eventually she just broke it off from him because she was getting ready to go up to split at that time. But I was super impressed with her ring work. She wrestles really well. You're absolutely right. This is so much fun to watch. Alexa's pretty decent on the mic. Becky,
Yeah.
the only problem I have with Becky is her accent, because sometimes words sound weird, and it's not her. It's just my ears need to realize. When she said Dumbo, I was like, that's funny, but man, it was hard for you to get out.
It was.
But it was funny, and it's really funny because Alexa, if you know anything about Alexa in real life, she loves Disney. She loves the Disney princess thing, and so that whole concept, that whole conversation was funny.
That's funny that her character is like the antithesis. Of
of her real life
of Disney princesses. Like, she would be like the evil queen, or like a henchwoman or something like that in a Disney movie. So that's kind of funny that she would choose.
And I think I like her a lot too, because her real backstory is she had loved wrestling. She loved Trish Stratus and all this stuff, and she basically told her parents, I'm gonna go. I can't remember if she told them or if she told them afterwards. She went to go try out because she always wanted to wrestle, and so it's fun hearing those kind of stories. It's like, you know what, I want to wrestle. I'm gonna go do it, and then she ends up going to the performance center and doing those kind of things. Any other comments about that?
No, their match in a few weeks, Glasgow SmackDown. Look forward to that because, like you said, Alexa is great in the ring, just like Becky is, and so I think it's good that they're, since they had to cancel their match at No Mercy. No Mercy. That's gonna be in my head forever. It's so awesome. I think it's a good call doing it on TV.
Yep.
And I'd like to see it main event that SmackDown. I think do a longer match, maybe like a good solid 20-minute match between them to close it out. I think that'd be pretty rad.
Yeah, I would agree. The other thing I wanted to say about this is at the end, when she pulls out the spray paint, all I could think of was New World Order.
Me too. So I was like, NWO.
Yeah, I want a shirt that says BWO, Bliss World Order. I think that would be awesome.
Nice, and then it has to have the yellow line down the back.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And so
WWE merchandise. There you go, merchandise ideas.
We've got ideas.
I know, man.
So we moved from that. It's a great promo by both ladies.
Indeed.
Can't wait for their match. I couldn't wait for their match at No Mercy. Too bad that couldn't happen. But now we have apparently, with no kind of warning, this next match, the Ascension versus the Hype Bros, is a qualifying match to be on the team.
Yeah.
No warning. Like, didn't say it last week. They're like, oh, we're going to start having qualifying matches for the tag teams. Okay. All right. So we have the Ascension versus the Hype Bros. What did you think of the match?
A lot of fun. I love the Hype Bros. The Ascension, they're good. Mid-card bad guys for stuff. Like, I honestly think they should be pushed as bigger bad guys.
I agree.
Because they almost seem like henchmen from like a 1960s Adam West Batman episode. That, you know, they're just pow zam and then they're down on the ground. Like, you know, they need to be more BA, you know.
I agree.
And you know, gee old chum and you know, all that. Actually, that would be funny if they did dress up and like the Ascension just dressed up with like black sweaters and like black hats and then like black domino masks, and then the Hype Bros came out dressed like Batman and Robin and beat them.
That would be funny.
Oh, that'd be loads of fun. But yeah, it was fun. I like the Hype Bros a lot. They're a lot of fun. They need to change up the formula of their matches, so it's not always Zack Ryder just getting the crap beat out of him for 6 minutes, and then he tags in Mojo Rawley, and then he just runs roughshod or whoever's in the ring, and then they do the Hype Rider, which actually I love the Hype Rider.
I agree.
And then they win. Like, doing that every so often is okay, but when that's like pretty much the formula for every one of their matches, you know, they need to kind of switch it up. But yeah, but I like the Hype Bros. I'm glad that they're in the going to be in the 5-on-5 tag team Survivor Series match.
That was the only thing that bothered me, is they were like, oh, hey, by the way, this is a qualifying or whatever kind of match this is to be on that team.
As you said that, I just got a mental picture of Daniel Bryan and Shane just getting that idea. Like, on set. Like, the match was going to happen, but it wasn't a qualifying match. And then Daniel Bryan was just, ooh, I got an idea. It's like, oh, hey, that's a good idea.
So, but yeah, everything you said. Hype Rider is probably my favorite tag team finisher right now. I'm trying to think, but I'm sure I'll figure it out one day. But yeah, great. Good match, small match. It was fine. And we moved from, speaking of Daniel Bryan, we moved from Natalya to the Natalya and Daniel Bryan. Yeah. I was hoping that she'd pull out her phone again and start showing, hey, Daniel, see my
That was funny.
Cat?
That was really funny last week. And then Dean Ambrose is like, oh, cat photos?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I know, sorry.
Yeah, I was hoping she'd do that too. That was funny.
And so she goes like, hey, Daniel, I think I should be the team captain for the women's team. And they're like, oh, that's a great idea, but Nick, I've already talked to Nikki, which is kind of some nepotism there. I'm not going to go into that. Which I hope they play on, actually.
That would be a fun angle, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're already doing it with the John Cena, with Nikki Bella and Carmella, the whole John Cena thing. I hope they do that with this. But he basically tells Natalya, you know what, you have a match between Nikki and Natalya. Nikki kind of wants to be the team captain too. So if you win, you can be team captain. However, if you lose, you're not going to be on the team at all. And so now we have the match. What do you think about this whole dynamic?
I don't know, because it almost seems like this could be the seeds. They're planting seeds for a Natalya-Nikki feud when Nikki and Carmella's feud is up, or it could just be backstage filler. I don't know, but yeah, like, I didn't hate it. I thought it was, you know, interesting rules and stuff like that, and you know, it's good that they're finally starting to trim down and figure out who's going to be in the Survivor Series matches and all that. Yeah, it was. It was interesting, and the match itself wasn't bad. I was actually pleased with the match. It was not that bad, just because I was like, I mean, they're both good at what they do, but just, you know, because of people like Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Sasha, who, you know, they're sort of the newer gen, even though there's like not that much younger, like a few years than Natalya and Nikki. Like, you know, they do more crazy stuff they do, so like, yeah, it was just kind of a little, you know, but I don't know.
I really like this match for two reasons. One, Natalya looked better than she has been, and Nikki, I don't mind watching her wrestle right now. She did the crucifix pin, which was really well done, pretty well done. It was relatively well done. the Face Buster was great. Oh man, when I read it, I was like, the Face Buster was great. I was like, oh wait, yeah, when she threw Natalya into the ropes, came back, and then hit Natalya off her knee, that was cool looking.
That was.
Let's see what else. There was a good, really really cool Enziguri by Nikki, and then she finished the match with the STF. I hate the STF, but man, she made that STF look good.
She did.
She put. I don't know if it was because of her angle or what, but that was the best STF I have ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's because she put her in a headlock instead of doing the face lock what Cena does.
That could be it.
I think that's what made it look better and made it look hurt because when John does it, his hands are touching the ground, so it doesn't look like he's putting pressure on their face. And she just had Natalya in the headlock, so that made it look a lot better.
And the fact that I think women are more bendable than guys, and so maybe the STF is made for women's wrestling.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm fine with her keeping. I actually like all of Bella except for the Bella Buster. I don't really like.
Yeah,
that.
It's kind of a move. Yeah.
Well, I mean, X-Pac used it, and so let's move on from X-Pac. I like her new finisher, the 2.0, whatever it's called. I like that she does that now. She looked good. Both wrestlers look really good. I enjoyed it. And then Carmella comes out to beat Nikki up and does the Bella Buster and You Can't See Me.
I liked that. I thought that was a nice touch. I was like, yeah, I got a pretty decent match here. And then Carmella came out and finished it off with that. I thought that was a nice touch. I liked that. Doing the Bella Buster and the Cena thing. But also, speaking of John Cena, he is in these new pistachio commercials where he voices a CGI elephant.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Are they a sponsor? Can we say this online on air?
I don't know. Yeah, me and my dad were just like watching I think it was the NLCS when we first saw it, watching Game 6 of the NLCS. This pistachio commercial was like, CGI elephant watching a baseball game. Wait a minute. CGI elephant is voiced by John Cena. So I guess we can't see him because he's an elephant.
Oh, you John.
But yeah, I was like, what? Why is John Cena voicing a CGI elephant? My dad's like, like the wrestler? I was like, yeah, that's him voicing the elephant. My dad's like, why is John Cena voicing an elephant? I was like, I don't know. But now I'm impregnated with wonder, and I need to find out why.
That's crazy. Well, because John Cena can do anything. Apparently.
So it was funny.
You call him up and he'll do Today's Show. You call him up, he'll do a voice of a random elephant for a pistachio commercial.
Yeah. It was.
I'm gonna look that up.
It's funny. It is. It's pretty good. But it's just like though that's John Cena voicing an elephant.
It's funny. So we go from John Cena as an elephant to the 16 days of mourning. The Miz. I think this is funny.
I thought it was funny too.
And I think it's still funny that the Spirit Squad is still around. They're a legitimate wrestling group now in 2016. I like this whole thing. They're all dressed in black. The Spirit Squad introduces Miz. What did you think about not only that whole thing, but also the match that follows?
All right. Yeah, I liked the whole Miz, like we're mourning the loss of the and kind of. I thought that was funny. I love that I like that they brought the Spirit Squad back. At first, like when they first came out, like several weeks ago, I was just kind of like, huh? But now I'm just like, yeah. It's okay. Like it's funny in the WTF Moments video of King Ross from What Culture. He's just like this, the Spirit Squad is back. WTF? I'm okay with that. Good job. And I was just kind of, I'm the same way. I was like, yeah, they're doing good. Like it's good that they're basically building a stable with these four, with Miz, Maurice, and then the Spirit Squad. Maybe they'll become the Miz Squad or something. They'll change it up a little bit or something. But yeah, I like what they're doing. Their little cheer of introducing the Miz, that was kind of cute. And then Dolph came out, and then Heath Slater and Rhino came out and stuff like that. So it looks like they're kind of building a feud between all of them and stuff. I don't know if this is two feuds coinciding like Dolph and Miz, and then, you know,
Mm.
parallel the Spirit Squad and Heath and Rhino are running, or if this is going to be like a 6-on-6 kind of feud or something. Like, but yeah, I totally dig everything about it. I like that Rhino's just looking at him like mad, and he's just like, oh, male cheerleaders, so kind of like I thought that was kind of funny and stuff.
And how Miz goads him into like, you're gonna let the cheerleaders blah blah blah.
Yeah, and then he started
like, well,
huffing.
we're not gonna do it, and we're gonna do it, or whatever he says.
You're on, or whatever he said. Yeah.
I agree with your whole thoughts on this. I think this is very entertaining. It went from, and I think this is good because they went from this very very serious feud to now it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
They have probably the most entertaining tag team for me anyway. I like Heath and Rhino. I like that dynamic.
Me too.
Again, and I like Dolph. They're kind of mixing that seriousness with comedy right now, and this is probably the best thing that WWE has going for them. At least as far as two great wrestlers, and then two tag teams, and then not only the storyline, not only they've got the storyline going for them. They've got two guys who can speak real well on the mic. They have two guys who can wrestle really well, and then they have two tag teams kind of making the comedic tension there too. For me, this is the best product that the WWE is bringing out right now, and so I enjoy this whole tension, this whole thing that's going on with these guys. And I, to be honest with you, I'm fine if Slater and Rhino, or Slino, or whatever you want to call it, Beauty and the Man Beast. I think there's another name they use. I'm fine with them keeping the championships forever because these guys are so entertaining.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, so entertaining, so fun to watch. And I agree with everything that you'd said. The whole 16 days of mourning thing cracks me up. We've gone from the 100 and whatever days of the greatest Intercontinental Championship. And what they've done with this Intercontinental Championship title thing as well is they've kind of listened to the crowd saying, man, an Intercontinental Championship isn't what it used to be. And they're kind of taking that kind of story and saying, okay, well, let's make a storyline around that. Mm-hmm. And it's my favorite product that they're putting out there.
I think I would have to agree with you because it's hard for me to say. You know, obviously Randy Orton's probably my favorite competitor right now, just because he's been one of my favorites for a long time, and I'm a big fan of Dean and AJ and Roman and stuff like that. But yeah, I think this. I feel like all those guys, greater things are to come.
Yes. But
I feel like right now though. Yeah. I think this is I agree with you. I think this is probably the best thing going on right now, just because it's so fun and it's so entertaining and yeah, it's just
it's just further into the storyline. Who knows what when the Orton Bray thing when it keeps going, or how it might be one of the top ones. I like where they're going with it, and I love where they're going with AJ Styles and Dean and James right now. But this, as far as a fleshed out thing, is really really fun to watch. Any other comments about that?
The match was a lot of fun.
It was.
I agree. I love like Heath Slater's a really good wrestler. He's not just a good character. Like, he's actually a really good wrestler. And Rhino still got some moves and stuff. The gore, like the gore, like that still looks like it hurts. But yeah, I never would have thought to team them up, but it just works out so perfectly.
It does.
And the match was a lot of fun. I just love seeing this. For whatever reason, I just love seeing the Spirit Squad just get the daylights knocked out of them. Like, it's so much fun. And I love Heath Slater's neck breaker.
Oh, yeah.
The swinging neck breaker or the jumping neck breaker. I think they're both good. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was a very good match. And then we get James convincing Dean to let him go to the ring. Are you sulking? You're sulking.
Yeah. Why are you looking like that? I told you not to do that. I told you not to sulk. Like.
And then he looks at James and looks at James' shirt because it's James' face. Looks at James' shirt. Looks at James. It's the same face. That was whole fun. He's like, all right. And so
that was good.
We go from that to the match. Tell us what you think about all of this whole thing.
Okay, I don't want to talk too much because I want you to actually say stuff too. I don't want to take stuff from you.
I'm sure you won't.
And this match was great. I thought it was really, really good for a, like I've been saying, like every so often, it's good to have a great, great match on TV.
Yep.
Like, with Finn Balor's first Raw, there's the Fatal 4-Way match that was really, really good. And then we had the Roman Reigns Rusev match the week before SummerSlam, which was really, really good. And then there was, I just had it, but then I lost it. Moving on.
That's okay. Great matches.
Yeah, every so often it's like, we don't just have to have filler for pay-per-views and then just a couple of decent matches. Like, hey, on TV we can have some really, really great matches.
Yep.
And the people who are there see some really great dark matches.
Yes.
Which stinks that we don't get to see them. But that's neither here nor there.
Yep.
And I thought this was really, really good. There was a couple times where I thought it was going to end earlier. Like, they were really good about the false finishes and keeping you on your toes. Their styles match up really well. Pun obviously intended. I just really enjoyed these two guys in the ring together. Their characters, their wrestling styles match up really well together. And I just thought this match was really, really good. And then the finish of it was very interesting.
It was.
So.
My thoughts now?
Yeah, your thoughts now.
I didn't know if you had more.
No.
Okay. Yeah. It was a really fun match. I have a feeling that AJ and Dean are enjoying this feud. I feel like because I said last week that Dean really wants somebody who he can work with and will take suggestions. And AJ's at a point in his career where I'm sure he will do that. And he wants a good match too.
And he talked about in the Stone Cold podcast that AJ was on. He talked about when he was in TNA, and he goes, when TNA I developed a mindset, and I still have this mindset of, I don't need to be selfish. I don't need to be like, hey, I need the championship. I always need the championship. Every so often, it's like, hey, I've been doing a lot of work. People love me or whatever. So maybe, you need to value me and hand me the championship from time to time, stuff like that. But no, he said, I'm never a guy who's like, oh, I deserve the championship. I need the championship. He goes, I'm the kind of guy where it's like, if one guy has the championship, if he's doing all right, then all of us are doing all right.
Yep.
He's like, I'm a team player. And so I think that's a good mindset, and I think that's awesome to have that.
And it brings a lot to SmackDown Live, especially this feud. I really like this feud. I like that they bring James into this. The notable things for me, they brought the Cloverleaf. I love the Cloverleaf. It's my second favorite finisher to the Sharpshooter because it's similar to the Sharpshooter, and I think it just looks cool. And so seeing Dean put on the Cloverleaf, I enjoyed that. The suplex from the apron outside.
Ooh.
I thought it was a brain buster at first, but when they kept replaying, I was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It looked nasty.
It did.
If you didn't put it in slow motion, it looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
But you throw it in slow motion, it wasn't as bad as it looked. Really cool though, really cool looking. And then I love that they did this, the springboard into the inverted DDT. They tried that one time. Or no, it was during the triple threat match. I think that he went into it and then got them that way. That was really cool. Love the counter to the calf crusher where Dean takes his head.
Yes.
Slamming into the ground.
That was great. I loved that.
That was really, really cool. The basement dropkick to James outside gives way to what happens at the end. What happens? What happens at the end of the match?
James Ellsworth got upset that AJ Styles kicked him. And when AJ Styles was out in the ring, James Ellsworth just super kicked him right in the face.
No chin music.
Yep, no chin music. I liked that. That was very clever.
Wasn't mine. Somebody else did it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was. I can't remember if it was JBL or if it was Morrow who said it.
Or it was somebody last week.
But the no chin music. I liked that. That was really funny. But yeah, and then since he attacked AJ Styles and the ref saw it, Dean Ambrose lost via disqualification and now isn't the number one contender. So I didn't see Talking Smack. I don't know if they addressed that or if anything is going to happen. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what that is going to do.
My favorite thing of the whole thing is after he does it, there's like a substantial amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ref looks at him and Dean looks at him and they're just like, did we just see that?
Yeah, like
Did
the
that
look.
just happen?
Dean's look, like the look on his face, where he was just like slack jawed, staring, like no way that just happened.
Yeah.
Like he was just like surprised, like oh.
Yeah. And it's like, and the ref didn't automatically. It wasn't an automatic interference thing. They were just like, what did we just see? And then it took, I don't know how long. It felt like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, maybe longer. I don't know, until he backs away and looks at Dean, and Dean's like, it was an accident. He didn't mean to do it. And then he calls for the bell, and it's like, that tension was fun. That no talking, just looking at each other. It's like, that's good storytelling, and they did a great job with that. James's super kick is impressive. He does a really good, when he smacks his leg to hear it's a really good smack, and AJ sells it. And so I feel like these three guys are having the time of their life in this whole feud, and we don't know what happens. We just know that James comes on, at least a little clip that WWE put out on YouTube, comes out on Talking Smack saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. I understand if he, I understand. Daniel Bryan tells him this story about a time that he ticked off. Oh no, about a time he wrestled Dean Ambrose and how Dean Ambrose just destroyed him, beat him up. He's like, Dean didn't have anything against me. Dean has something against you. How do you feel? And it's like, holy crap, Daniel, you just scared. I'm sure he's peeing his pants right now telling that story. It's like, oh, I got beat up for no reason. You have a reason to be beat up. And James just sits there and it's like, I deserve it. Oh, wow. I deserve being beat up. If he comes after me, it's what it's going to be. I deserve it. And so that'll be fun to see how they conclude or continue or however they do that next week. But so, anything else you want to talk about SmackDown before?
No, man. I thought pretty good. I think we've said about all we can say. It was worlds better than Raw.
Oh yeah,
it was fantastic.
So what's the rating you would give?
So, out of 5 Broken Skull IPAs, I think I'd give this a 4. 4 out of 5, I would think. I think just A, in comparison to Raw, and B, just how good it was anyway. I think solid 4.
It wasn't bad. I'm gonna give it a 3.75. I'm not quite finishing the 4th one, but leaving some for next week. I think next week will be really good. All the storylines together. Best writing of the story. Best writing of both right now. Very fun to watch. SmackDown was really, really good.
And next week on Raw we have Goldberg coming back. So see how that turns out.
Yeah, we'll see. Is Brock supposed to be there too? I don't remember.
I don't think they said, but okay. It'd be cool if he was.
I think they would have to. Eventually, they're going to have to be in the same ring together.
They're going to have to do something.
Yep.
So yeah, that's it. So just touch a little bit on Hell in a Cell real quick. Not too long, just a few minutes. We're both really looking forward to this one. Yep. So of the 3 Hell in a Cell matches, which one are you most looking forward to, and which one are you least looking forward to?
Okay. I'm most looking forward to the Women's Championship Hell in a Cell, because 1, that's never been done.
Mm-hmm.
2, I want to see what they do.
Me too.
Thinking about this earlier today, I was gonna text you last night or today, thinking about are we really watching this for the wrestling, or are we watching this to see who dies? Because I have a feeling that I know that they're trying to take precautions with the women's Hell in a Cell, because I know that both of them want to do some crazy things in it. I hope they take precautions, because it would be cool to see some of that stuff happen. As far as least, just because of the storytelling with it, I don't really care about the Universal title match. It's sad because I love Kevin Owens, and I think Seth Rollins is a relatively good wrestler. He's a good worker. And he will be great, a great worker down the road. But because of the storytelling, I don't care. I don't care about this match almost one bit. I am looking forward to the Reigns Rusev match, mostly because both of those guys are very, very physical, very, and there's heat. You can tell, or you can. It feels like they hate each other, and so I look forward to that, but not as much as the women's. So for me, women's, then Rusev and Roman, and then lastly the one I don't really care about. That I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm the exact same way, like to a T. Like, yeah, I'm the women's match. It just has me so intrigued because it's like, what are they gonna do? What crazy stuff's gonna happen? Like,
Who will die?
are they gonna pull out? Are they gonna pull out tables? Are they gonna pull out weapons? Are they gonna go on top of the cell? Are they gonna, like, there's so much crazy stuff that I'm just like, what's gonna happen? Like, yeah, I hope that they put on a good show, yes, but be safe. Don't try to do something too spectacular. That's like life threatening or anything like that's potentially life threatening. But yeah, the biggest part is just the sheer curiosity of what is this going to be, the first women's Hell in a Cell match. And then yeah, I really don't care about the Universal title one. I'm just kind of like, man, I don't know why. I mean, guys are good wrestlers. They're both great heels. Both good on the mic. But for some reason, I'm just not excited because it just seems like this feud, Kevin Owens is the Universal Champion, and it seems like this feud is just until Triple H comes back.
Yeah, it's not a feud between he and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it seems like this is just a springboard, a necessary step to give to bring the Triple H feud with Seth Rollins up
to an end. I think that'll end. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, they'll probably, I don't know if it'll be at Royal Rumble or if it'll be at Fastlane or if it'll be at Mania between Triple H and Rollins, but yeah, I'm just kind of like obviously big fan of Roman Reigns, and I like Rusev. He's a great villain, and I think their feud has been very interesting. It's become very heated, so I think they'll have some good spots. And Roman Reigns was in a great Hell in a Cell match last year. That was really, really good. So I'm really anxious to see that again. See what kind of crazy stuff. I think that one will have some, because like you said, they're very physical, and I think this one will have some pretty crazy stuff. I would love to see something crazy like, like spearing Rusev, like, and landing on the steel steps, or spearing him out of the ring into the wall, or just something crazy.
I could see an Accolade at the top.
On the top of
the cell. That would be really fun.
That would be nuts.
It would hurt. I think it would hurt more on, like, because your body is on this what's supposed to be steel cage, and so to have your body wrenched like that and the rest of your body pushed into steel cage, it shouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
And so that would be fun to watch that. Or I hope they don't. I could see them doing a spear on top and then the cage collapsing. Or like part of the cage collapsing. I hope that doesn't happen. So many. I think we're watching this to see who dies. I really do.
Yeah, I could see like them breaking out of the cage. Like I could see Roman spearing Rusev to break out of the cage if that happens. But like I'm really anxious to see what happens with those two. It's crazy that the third one I really just don't care that much about.
Yeah.
So like that's why honestly I hope that one goes on first because I just don't care about it that much, which sucks because I should, because it's a big time title. It's two good wrestlers, but yeah,
but you're right. It's filler.
It just seems like filler, so I just don't really care that much about it. Like now, if the Triple H Seth Rollins thing was happening. If they pulled the trigger on that a lot sooner and that was happening in the cell, I'd be cool with that.
Oh, I agree. But it's not.
But it's not, which stinks. But
or will it? I think Triple H will show up. I think.
Or will it? Yeah, I could see him hiding under the ring or something.
It would just make sense because I think they are moving towards that. It would make sense to put that to bed so Triple H can go do the stuff he needs to do with NXT and whatever else is coming on. He needs to be out of the ring. We haven't seen him. I know he's going to be coming back. He's got to, because it doesn't make sense to not have any information from him why he gave Kevin Owens the title. And so this is the best place for this to happen. He gets in the ring, bashes Seth Rollins over the head with sledgehammer or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then leaves. I think that's the best way to end Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and start this new thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just feel like all of these feuds, I hope all three of these feuds I've pretty much enjoyed. And I hope this is the end for all three of them, the Hell in a Cell matches. I hope it's the end for all three of them.
My only thing is I like the Roman Rusev feud, where I'd be okay with it, keep going, because what would happen? Do you think Rusev's going to win, or do you think Roman's going to win?
I think Roman will probably win.
Okay. If he wins, what's Rusev going to do?
I don't know.
If Roman loses,
mm-hmm.
then he at least has another belt. I mean, I guess Rusev could go after the Universal title.
Yeah.
That might be all right. Rusev, Kevin Owens might be a good match.
Yeah.
But I know Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns would be a good match. That would be a good another feud until Finn comes back.
Yeah.
They need filler. That's all they need, because I think they want to keep Finn as champion. They just need filler
until he comes back, because I would love to see, because it'll probably be, because I don't see Kevin Owens losing the belt before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So I would totally love to see him and Finn Balor at WrestleMania and him winning the title back.
It'd be cool.
Beat Kevin Owens, and he became the NXT champion by beating Kevin Owens, so he'll regain the Universal Championship by beating Kevin Owens. Seems kind of fitting.
Yeah, which makes sense.
So, but yeah, be cool. So, yeah, Hell in a Cell. Cannot wait to see that. That'll be really, really cool.
Yep.
And that's
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Hell in a Cell.
That's pretty good, Vince.
I hurt my throat doing that.
I would imagine. I don't think I could talk like Vince.
There's no chance in hell. That hurts so bad doing that, but it sounds so much like him that it's great. Yeah. Oh, it's fun. Well, it's been episode 12. Raw, SmackDown. Raw was pretty much a turd in a dress.
Raw was a turd in a dress. You heard it here first.
And then, it was a turd in a dress. SmackDown was like a supermodel.
It was.
It was way, way better. So that's been episode 12. We will see you guys for episode 13. Ooh, 13, scary.
13 in October.
13.
No, it'll be November.
Yeah, it'll be
November by
the time we do that.
Okay, cool, that's good.
Whew, yeah, that was close.
But still 13.
Still, it's the 13.
Should we just say 14? Do like buildings do and have a 13th floor?
People on the 14th floor, you know what floor you're really on.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, it's funny. It's the 13th episode and we're talking about all the Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's the special Halloween edition of Raw next week. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Hell in a Cell, or as I think it should be Hell in a Cell, Halloween Havoc combined. Make it Halloween Havoc.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be sweet. So, all right, that's been episode 12. That's right. The man with the Jim Neidhart beard, the man with the AJ Styles hair. Signing off.
Peace.